Hey, welcome back to the Boss Cave. I am the boss, and tonight with me I have the returning King Fezza.
Oh no.
And Marsh's birthday's coming up soon. Everybody wish her happy birthday!
Yeah, I was born Sunday. Well, I'm gonna be born.
We are.
I'm already born, but like, you know what I mean.
We're celebrating
You
your
come
birth.
from, you come from a different universe.
We are.
I came from the future, and I'm just like here just to warn you guys that an awesome person's gonna be born this Sunday.
Several years
Wait,
ago.
wait a minute.
So you come from the future to tell
Yeah.
us in the present that you were born several
18
years ago.
18 years ago. Today. No, not today. Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? We could turn that into the next Terminator.
No.
That sounds like the
No.
plot line for the next Terminator. We can call it Terminator 5. We give up.
We give up on this.
Yeah. I don't like any of the Terminators after 2. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, Terminator 4 is
There were
alright.
more Terminators after 2?
Yeah, that's what I said
there
too. There's like Terminator 3, and then there's Terminator like Rise. I don't remember what it's called. It's
I
like
forgot the name, but I know I watched.
instead of going into
them.
the past, they go to the future, and it's like everybody's got the robots everywhere, and just like, guess
Oh,
what?
no.
I don't give a shit about the robots. Where's Arnie? Where is Arnold Schwarzenegger? They technically had him in, but he was in there for only like 10 seconds, and I was like, that's fucking boring.
Oh dang! Everyone watches the Terminator just for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
The governor of California.
The governor. Apparently that was his official title while he was
The
governing.
governor.
While he was governing the state of California.
Governating?
Yeah,
God.
the active governor. Governating.
I can't. I don't think that's real.
The act of
I feel like
terminating.
you're lying to me.
The act of terminating is somebody who acts on terminating is terminator. Therefore, there's somebody who acts on governating is the governor.
I refuse to believe this. I think you're lying to me.
Why would I
Not
lie?
lying.
Why would I
feel like
lie?
he's not.
Why would I
Color picture.
lie? Why would I lie? Why would somebody go onto the internet and tell lies? Why would somebody do that?
Because why not? It's you.
No, I would at least tell you something much more outrageous than that if I was lying to you. Marsh knows. Have I told the story on the podcast where I tricked my brother into believing that there was something called liquid ice?
Oh my god.
If I have told this story before, you're gonna listen to it again. So
I got a BRB though, cause you do laundry stuff.
okay, you can just mute yourself then. So the story goes is that me and my brother are on a cruise. My mother won something in her workplace that got us a cruise up to like Maine and Canada.
Wow.
And
Okay.
like it was a really nice cruise. And they had this big ass ice machine there too. And it was like one of the big stainless steel like box freezer ice machines that like you put it underneath and it sounds like the world's ending, but you get crystal clear ice. And they had like a little spigot on the other side of it. Like you didn't turn it, but you like pushed it like a regular thing. Like a regular water dispenser. You just pushed a button and water came out of it. And it was unlabeled, but obviously it's an ice machine, so it's gonna give you ice cold water, right? So I come over to my brother who's eating at a table behind me, I believe. And I'm just like, hey, Bryce. Bryce is my brother's name. And I'm just like, hey, Bryce, come here, check this out. Check this out. And he's about maybe 12 at this point. And I pull him up to the ice machine. I'm like, yeah, you see this? He's like, yeah, the ice machine. I'm like, yeah. But come over here. Look at what I got here. And he's like, what do they got? What do they got? Because I'm making a big deal about it. I'm getting hyped up on it. I'm like, Bryce, you gotta see this shit. You don't gonna believe this shit. It blew my mind when I saw this. You gonna love this. And he's like, oh man, I can't wait to see what Grant's gotta show me. What my big brother's gotta show me. And I'm just like, look.
My big trustful brother.
As soon as I should have said something, he should have been like, no. But he trusted me.
You liar.
He trusted me, and I was like,
That was his first. That was his first mistake.
that was the first mistake. Trust a 15, not 15, trust a 14-year-old me. And I'm like, Bryce, check this out. They got liquid ice. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, look at this. I push the button and water starts pouring out. And he's like, whoa, that's
Oh my
awesome.
fucking
And I'm like,
God.
here, take a drink, take a drink. And he takes it. He's like, it's so cold. I'm like, yeah, it's because it's ice water. He goes, what? Ice water. There's no such thing as liquid ice. It's water. He looked at me like I had stabbed him in the back, like I had betrayed him, like it was the Ides of March and he was Julius Caesar and I was Brutus, and he's like, E2? E2 Brute? And I'm just like wrenching that knife in there. I'm like, it's water, bitch. And he looked at me with this distraught on his face. He looked down at the cup, he looked over at the ice machine, looked down at the cup again, took another drink, and he just goes, no. No. I thought it was liquid ice. And I'm like, what is ice when it melts? And he goes, water. And I'm like, therefore, water's liquid ice. And he was, he went and sat back down. He took the cup of water with him. He went and sat back down. And that was the funniest thing. I think I laughed about that for the next 2 years on that cruise. Every single time we went to a restaurant, I was like, hey, you got liquid water? You got liquid ice? And my brother would shoot me 30 looks. I'm like, yeah, you know what you did. Liquid ice. Liquid ice licking head ice. Liquid ice licking head ass. Oh, Naru's Snapchatting me. Hang on. Let's see what he's got.
Oh yeah, I got a Snapchat from him too earlier.
He's putting some furry in this mac and cheese. He's got furry in his mac and cheese. But so yeah, let's get right into slapping our balls and dying. But let's get into the
Ew.
news. Let's
Yes.
talk about some video game news, as well as some news, as well as some nudes. What?
I don't want to see that. I want food. How about food?
We ain't got that. Sorry, that's not in the contract.
Damn. No wonder we're so. Damn it. This is why I rely on people donating to you, because I need food.
You hear that, boys? If you want to give Marsh food, you gotta donate, boys. Sorry,
You
I don't
donate
make
so
the
he
rules.
could give me cake.
I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. But anyway, so bringing us into video game news, news about Stardew Valley, which is a favorite of me and Naru's, which we
Wow.
love to death, both of us.
Wow.
It's getting the update sometime in the next couple weeks. They slated the update, which will be 3.0, which will introduce multiplayer as well as wearable hats for your horses and
It's on
uh,
horses.
and I think a bunch of new crops, I believe, according to what they've speculated on their Twitter. The latest update we had was from March 13th, which was 3 days ago as they of recording. And they have been saying like, oh yeah, the multiplayer update's coming soon. Like the hats on horses bullshit is going fine. Like it looks super cool, and I'm like super excited. And they said that on their Twitter that it's supposed to be coming sometime late March, and it's the 16th today. So I'm speculating, and as well as Polygon and like 3 other websites that I'm looking at right now, are speculating that it'll be roughly around March 24th that the date's gonna come out. But
Oh.
that's an unconfirmed date, so don't hold me to that one. Hold Polygon and other sources, which will be in the description. And all that stuff. But in other news about Stardew Valley, it will be first on PC.
Whoa.
It'll be the first on PC that you can get to multiplayer on. And then it should make its way to Nintendo Switch right afterwards, and that could
Holy
be either a day or a few days afterwards. And then it's going to PlayStation 4, and then Xbox, the king of cucks,
heck.
are getting it last because they deserve last because Xbox One can eat my dick for all I care.
Okay.
In other video game news, hang on, somebody is messaging me about something.
Oh.
So we had recently, um, Microsoft is working on something that they call a Netflix for video games. So basically, like a streaming service for video games where you can stream video games to your Xbox One or PC. It looks like that's coming out. We had some reveals for new Sonic stuff. Sonic Mania, a collector's edition, is coming out, and they're adding 2 new characters as well as a sound select stage and all the other Sonic classics that they want. The 2 new characters are a bunch of the old ones. Yeah, they're a
Wow.
bunch of the really, really old ones.
I wasn't into Sonic when so I don't know.
It
I'm just sounding amused.
is
I'm just sounding amused because you have no one else to sound amused.
Mighty and Ray, which Mighty is... I have no idea who Mighty is, but I know Ray is from Chaotix. From that old Chaotix arcade game with Knuckles, Vector the Crocodile, Charmy Bee, and Espeon the Chameleon, which were my favorite team to play in Sonic what's it called? Sonic Heroes, that's the one, which is a good game, and I don't care what anybody says. Everybody can fight me in the comments below about Sonic
Well,
in
you
3D.
better put your sleeves up, I guess, since
Yeah.
somebody out there wants to fight you.
Probably.
Everyone wants to fight. Everyone wants to fight Grant. Everyone.
Welcome back, Fizza.
Fezza, fight Grant.
All right,
Okay.
See, I told you.
put them up.
Now, there's been some reports coming out recently that there is a study being held in a North Texas college. It doesn't say which... No, sorry. It is from the University of Austin. It is publishing this report that they're finding that people that are playing Fortnite and Battle Royale games, such as like PUBG and other video games such as like that,
Oh no.
are apparently more likely to have violent tendencies than any
Yeah.
other video game, which already smells of bullshit.
From the bad, yeah.
So I don't know how much this University of Austin is really talking about, but they're saying quote that in the, and they don't publish statistics, so you know already that's off to a good start. They have said that preteens and teenagers from as early as 10 years old to as old as 18 for teenagers have been addicted to battle royale games such as Fortnite and PUBG, to the point where they are pushing for legislation for these type of video games to be regulated as a controlled substance. And
What?
and the more
So games are literally drugs now?
the more that I read this story, the more that I'm like, what
It
the
sounds like
fuck?
something a mom would read. I mean, not read. Would write.
Right.
This sounds like what a bunch of conservatives got together to blame gun violence on instead of guns. To be honest,
Yeah.
It sounds like.
I wonder what causes gun violence.
Hmm.
Probably not guns.
I wonder.
Probably not that.
The key root word of the sentence, gun violence. I can't imagine what causes it.
It's a mystery.
Maybe violent people with
Wow.
guns. Nah.
No,
It's them
no,
video
these
games.
video games.
It's them video games and them fucking rap music.
Oh yeah, that
You know-
rap music
you know,
causing all
Sarah?
those people.
You know, Sarah, it's not the guns. It's that video game Jimmy's playing downstairs. You should know this. I read it somewhere in this article. Don't let him play video games. Take him to church.
Take him to
That literally
church.
sounds like my mom because she's been going on about drinking apple cider vinegar
Oh
because she
my
read somewhere
god, no, my
online
dad
that
does that
it
all the
helps.
time. Oh,
And
and
she's been trying to make me drink it. And the thing is, I'm scared of leaving my drink around her because she's kind of like almost forcing it on me
you're gonna have to
to the
go.
point of where
You're
I'm
gonna,
not sure whether when I'm not looking, she's going to pour some into my drinks
you're
at
gonna,
Oh
dinner.
God.
your your home is running like fucking bar rules. Never leave your drink unattended. God damn, I feel sorry for you. Like,
I'm only there once a month though.
oh, that's
But
Oh.
thankful
it's
though.
gotten to
So,
the point where I'm kind of iffy.
I've been trying to find a new job so I can, other than this, hey, donate to me so I can move out. But I've been trying to find a new job so I can finally leave this place because I don't really like my families a lot, all
Oh,
that much
same
today.
here.
My,
Same.
I'll tell another story about my brother. So my brother and my father, um, well, less to my father, more to my brother, are one of those gun fanatics. My
Oh.
brother came home from a gun show with approximately 3 guns in the past week.
But why?
One of them was gifted to him. One of them he supposedly gifted to me, which I never wanted. But at the same time, I'm not going to like say no. It's a cool looking rifle, but it's no, 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 no.
When are you going to use it?
I'm gonna use it for hunting because
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's
true.
this tiny
That's the
it's this tiny little fucking Mauser. It's 7 millimeter. It's bolt action. I don't even think the damn thing even works anymore, but I'm gonna try and see. It's like this old shitty World War II gun, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Thank you. It'll be nice to like shoot like squirrels or something with it. Whenever I go squirrel hunting, which is very rare because I barely have time to go hunting anymore. But
Well,
it's fine. I mean, I eat a lot of the meat that we harvest from animals. We're very responsible hunters.
that's
that's
good.
good.
Yeah. But he brought home this shotgun, which I'm not a big like gun nut. I like historical weapons. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool old gun, like a M1 Grand or something like that, or like a Mauser or Mosin Nagant. Like those are old guns. Those have basically zero military purpose nowadays. And like, yeah, cool. You want to have one? Sure, go ahead. But like, he brought home like this SWAT shotgun. It's like poly. What's it called? Carbon fiber and like made of a bunch of these just like plastic materials. And he put like a red dot sight on it and everything. And I'm just like, why would you need that? And he's like, I'm going to use it for home defense. I'm like, Bryce, we live in a white people neighborhood.
That's just I like that.
The only the only time when we ever were robbed was when we were on vacation for a month. So like,
Vacation for a month. Wow.
yeah, but I forget what the circumstances behind that were, but we basically went to Europe on my brother's school field, not school trip, but it was sponsored by the school, but it wasn't a school trip. I'll tell a
So
story.
like,
It was basically this. We followed the trail of D-Day.
uh,
It was like a sponsored event by the school, but we had to pay into it, and I paid like $600 for me to go because well, I didn't pay, but my parents did. It was like a good 5 years ago. God, I'm old. But
You are old. We try and remind you this, you old
he
fart.
brought home
we're all
he brought
old.
home like all these different weapons and everything, and he's taking them apart in the basement. I'm just like, Bryce, we don't need this. I, I will attest and I will firmly confirm that I do own a firearm, but the most that I want out of my firearm is something that will make a deer not alive in the most humane way possible. Granted, I have a good shot on them. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want like a 50 caliber that'll just blow a deer in half. I have no use for that.
Oh,
I have nothing. I could never imagine any type of hunting utensil that you could use because I do consider a gun a utensil, like a tool. Like it's not that hard to understand it. If you have a gun, you have to have a purpose for it. If you want to have a gun just to shoot the gun, then make sure it's not something insane like a fucking AR-15, which is pretty much only designed for death. I mean, all guns are designed for death, but I mean people death.
Oh.
Not animal.
Unless you're shooting down some crazy monster animal or something.
Yeah, unless you're shooting down like homunculi or something like that. That one Russian dude's trying to make on YouTube.
What?
You never heard of it?
No.
There's this one dude out there on YouTube who's trying to make homunculuses by
Isn't he like putting
What
like
are those?
his stuff in an
he's
egg?
putting his semen into chicken eggs and trying to hatch them.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there like
A homunculus, by the way, Fezza, for those who didn't watch Full Metal Alchemist, basically it is a human that is not born of the womb and is made mostly by science.
What?
Hmm
How
the
Why would we do this?
that's
how far has he gotten, by the way? Like I
it
haven't
failed.
been checking up.
It's failed every single time, although he's used some fancy CGI editing to make it seem like he's created something. Although
Oh.
it's more like just a piece of clay in the bottom of his urn that he just shakes around.
Ew.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a weird character. He also wears a full gas mask, but that's just Russia.
It seems like a Russian thing.
Yeah. But like my brother brought home all these different guns and I just was like they're cool and all and like none of them are too over the top except for maybe that SWAT shotgun. I'm not really a big fan of that thing. Although like I won't knock him for it, but I was always telling him like if you try to attempt to build a fucking AR in this house while I'm here, I will fucking do everything in my power to stop you. It's not the fact that I don't trust him, and it's not the fact that he's a danger to himself. He knows far more about guns than I ever will, or ever want to. But I don't like the idea of having my little brother, my baby brother, who got tricked into fucking believing that ice had a liquid form called liquid ice. I don't want that kind of idiot running around with a gun. Put it that way. Put it plain and simply. Oh, my god. It's just... I worry about him sometimes.
You have a right to worry.
So on
You
to
do.
less depressing stuff, and by the way I mean more depressing stuff. Let's talk about something I made a discovery on, which also relates to
Oh, God.
guns. That
Oh no.
Naru and
Oh,
I
no.
were gonna talk about tonight on the podcast,
Yeah.
but he wasn't here, or he's not coming. Well, he's coming, but he's just he's also on his
Oh,
way.
also Grant, by the way, while
Yeah?
you were like describing guns and saying their names, I was just sitting here like, man, I literally don't know what he's talking about. Like the whole time, I was like, is this what people think whenever people like women explain boob sizes? And then I was like, wait a second, I don't even know boob sizes myself. Somebody could just tell me a random letter and number, and I'll believe them.
I think they're from like A to H.
No, somebody could tell me. Somebody could like seriously walk up to me and say, "Oh, I'm size Z27," and I'll be like, "Okay," like I'll believe them fully. Cause I don't know boob sizes. I barely know anything around the real world. And it's
Noelle,
like somebody could. It's
No-
just
Noelle is a 32 triple C. I'm fairly sure about that. How do I know? Because
Okay.
she was like, we had a conversation about it it was like a fucking 2 years ago or something like that, and she's just like, yeah, this is what my size is, and I'm like, I'm gonna take no memory of that, and she's just like, remember,
Do you remember?
36 triple C, and I'm like, that, alright, cool. And I
all I
could be entirely wrong about that though, and misremembering it. Noelle's probably gonna
All
kick
I
my
can
ass
say-
if that's not true.
All I can say is that how I know women boob sizes is you got no titty, you got semi titty, you got medium titty,
jeez.
and you got fucking big ass titties. That's my size scale. I don't go by that letter shit.
Marsh, you're starting to sound like me, and that scares me.
Oh,
Hey, yeah,
I'm
big ass.
influencing her. Is this what's going to happen to me if I stay in this podcast too long?
You'll start to talk like me. Big ass titty. You got tiny titty. You got medium titty. You got big ass titty. Those are the
Oh
only
my
three
God.
options.
And then there's mega tit,
Yeah,
mega tit.
which is Noelle. Mega milk. Pretty sure she
Oh
has
no,
that
there
shirt
is
too.
actually a girl. There's a girl where in my class, I'm not. I do not like lie to you. Her tits are so huge that they go right to like it's like this big mountain to her stomach, and I
Oh,
just
that's
look
gotta
at her
suck.
always.
I'll
I
tell you.
always look at her in fear.
I'll
I'm
tell
just
you.
terrified
I'll tell
that one
you.
day that like all of a sudden she's gonna fall and it's gonna pop, and that's my worst fear in life.
They're gonna pop.
Okay, I'm done. That's all I think. Whenever I see big titties, even in animes,
Big
all I
titties,
think is
big
that one day
titties,
they're gonna fall
big
and then they're gonna
titties,
pop and
big
water is gonna leak out
titties,
or
big
blood.
Just water.
titties, big
I don't know.
titties, big.
Okay, now you continue.
Well, I have big titties, so you know I'm just gonna let that throw out there.
Well, you don't. You're not that. You don't have that much.
Shh, bigger than you.
Oh yeah, make fun of my flat chestedness. Fuck you.
It's all right. It's a joke.
Oops.
Oh fuck!
Sorry, forgot to turn that off.
Oh come on.
Aw damn, Grant's gonna get another strike.
Was that from fucking, is that from Persona?
No, it's not from Persona. It was some song. I don't know.
It sounded
but
like-
it was like only a second.
It sounded.
1 second too
Don't-
long.
Don't doubt YouTube. Don't doubt YouTube. They'll fucking do it,
And
madmen.
Vince was never invited to another podcast ever again.
No, you're always invited. Just your phone is not. Your phone ain't
Your
invited.
phone's not. Your phone ain't invited, my dude.
I'm gonna start spamming the chat room that we're in. I'll just be like, turn your fucking phones off.
Don't
Stop.
let YouTube hear your phone.
Stop falling downstairs, by the way, Fezza.
No, I was just getting it from my water basket.
I always have my phone on mute or vibrate. I sometimes even forget what the hell my ringtone is. Like,
I forgot what time it was.
My
I
ringtone.
forget what day it is.
My ringtone. It's Friday. My ringtone is
Is it Friday? Is it time to get down?
It's
On
fan.
Friday.
It's
Down and
fanfic
dirty.
Friday.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to read one of those.
Yeah, my ringtone is "The Show Will Go On" by Queen, and it's the part where they cut in, and he's like, "The show will go on," like that part, and like
I've never heard the
it's
song.
super fucking loud. Neither have I, and it's super fucking loud. And like I always turn my phone on silent or vibrate. If you ever hear my ringtone go off, there's something seriously wrong with me. Like I haven't slept.
That's not Grant. That's not Grant then.
I haven't.
That's how we know.
I haven't.
It's not. It's
Look,
I haven't slept in days.
tanned.
okay, you
I
have
haven't
you have
slept in
two,
days
you
or
have a
something like
clone,
that.
You have a clone and you have Grant. They're both standing there and you're holding them at gunpoint and they're like, somebody call Grant. And like both phones go, one is vibrating and one starts ringing. And you just like, you split and you fucking shoot. You shoot you think it's the clone, but blood comes out. And like you look over to like the other, like at the other side, you're like, how? And it's like, Grant always wanted to die.
I was gonna say I would have jumped in front of the bullet for the clone and be like, "Yeah, motherfucker, finally, get out of this bitch."
He secretly wishes for death. The sweet, sweet embrace.
Line all three of our heads up and just yourself, me, and this clone.
Speaking of heads, I finally finished the new thing I need to use for my face. Oh wait, that's not the wrong. That's right. That's the wrong thing.
Oh,
That's you.
Oop.
That's
thanks.
great.
Thanks. I need a link to my own stream. Thank you.
Why is
man,
everyone
he's
so
sweet.
mean to me? I did nothing wrong. This is the thing.
I'm not being mean
Whoa!
to you, Fezza. It's just so nice to bully somebody for one. No, I'm joking. I'm never-
Honestly, I do need somebody to bully me. I don't have friends here who bully me anymore.
I thought you.
So,
Aw.
I thought you were going.
Hey, I would say go to Izzy, but Izzy only bullies me, so.
I thought you were.
That.
I thought you were about to say I want somebody to bully me because I'm into that, and I was gonna be like, oh,
no.
look, it's Fezza. She's now in color, duking
Finally,
about the
she's
place.
in color.
Duking about the place.
Hey, I can't even see my hand because it's so dark.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's true in real life too.
But what was I gonna talk about before we went on that tangent?
I don't
Something
fucking know.
about faces.
Uh, it was something about a news article or something like that.
I think we were gonna like
Oh wait,
start talking about that one guy.
I was transitioning to the guy that I found. So,
Yee.
as many of my friends know, Meg included, I like to peruse conservative YouTubes just because I find it hilarious to just watch some of their videos and just laugh at them and their stupidity. Uh, a recent one that we found was something called Freedom Tunes. And
Oh.
Freedom Tunes, and it's this guy who is way too serious about his cartoons, talking about like SJWs, Al Sharpton, this is how you talk to fucking liberals, and it's just like, bro, shut up, no one cares. You're getting like, you're getting like maybe 10,000 views on your video, dude. Like.
Do they ever stop to think, maybe people have different opinions?
I mean, like, I get like 50 views on these podcasts on occasion. Like the first one we got was like 100 views, which I was super proud about. And
Nice.
like these podcasts do all right, I guess, for a small YouTuber like myself. And
Who knows? Maybe one day you're just gonna be like, "Wow, I can't believe losers are listening to this."
yeah, maybe one day. Don't insult our fans like that. maybe one day. Maybe one day, I'll be like, a million subs and be super famous on YouTube and everything.
And then you'll fire us and get somebody better.
And then
Well, better than me.
You'll actually
No.
start inviting like the popular kids,
I'll
like
never do
Yeah,
that.
like
actual Wooly.
Never,
Who
never,
else?
never in my life would I ever abandon you all.
he says this, and then like years later, then he has like some famous person. He's like, I'm so happy to get rid of those guys.
Never, never. I'm always humble. I'm humble as the great.
Humble.
I am humble as the late great. Wait, he's not dead yet. As the great Iron Sheik said, humble. You make them humble. Put them in the camel clutch. But
Oh.
another wrestling joke. But basically, I like to go on these conservative YouTubes and just watch them be idiots all the time. Me and Meg's recent favorite ones have been Christian conspiracy theorists. And some of
Already sounds like
them
a wild ride.
some of them are so goddamn funny because most of them are like Disney is part of the Illuminati and they're training kids to be Satanists, and I'm just like, bro, take a chill.
Honestly, if what I've heard about Satanists is true, then
Yeah.
it's pretty sick.
Yeah, Satanism is awesome, dude.
It's like, man, I like to go over
That's
to
coming
our
It's coming from a Catholic.
our Lord Lucifer while I listen to How to Build a Snowman.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you know it.
No. It gets deeper than that because there was this one guy that me and Meg watched where it was this guy who took a tour of Disneyland and was like, every single time that he could, he pointed out something that was vaguely like Illuminati referencing. Like he went to the Indiana Jones. He went to the Indiana Jones ride, which is, supposed to be like that because it's Indiana Jones and it's supposed to be like secrets and conspiracies. That's how Indiana Jones started. The Ark of Covenant, dude. Like, you read that in your fucking book sometime, maybe? It's just like he goes around and he's like, oh, the serpent is exercising like the devil, and like there's a bunch of these eyes everywhere, and like the eye of Shiva and like Ra, and the like, oh, these Illuminati symbolism, and I'm just like, dude, not every single eye that you see on the wall is Illuminati. Some of them can just be the weak point for a Legend of Zelda boss. But he's just going through all this stuff, and he's talking about like the Masons and like how Walt Disney was a Mason, which is true. I'll give him credit. Walt Disney was a Mason, and he formed
What's
his
that?
it's a secret society, Freemasons. You know the how to describe a Freemason to you? Basically, there's a group of people out there that are in a Masonic order, which is basically this order of men. I don't think women are
Oh.
allowed into it, but it's an order of men
Wow.
who have power. Well, it's a super old order, by the way. It's like from the
Well,
16.
Sounds like it.
It's six.
Sounds like it because they're freaking too dumb to realize that y'all need those chicks.
Yeah, but it's just
Spicing it up.
basically a bunch of crusty white men that got together
Ew.
in medieval times.
Never mind. No wonder. No women because they didn't even want to come in the first place. All
And
right.
in medieval times got together and basically just was like, hey, we're gonna be a secret order to oppose the king, and then just grew, and then now is like a secret order across the world that's not so secret.
It's nuts.
It's like the
What's
knights.
even the point of calling things secret anymore if they're not a secret?
It's
It's
like
not cool. It's just dumb.
they're like the Knights Templar, where everybody points to them like being a secret order. It's like, no, you can call them on the phone, dude. Like. One of my favorite scenes from My Brother and Me is the TV show is when they call the Masons or call the Knights Templar, and Griffin is in the back just freaking out because he's like, we just called people hunting for the Holy Grail. And it was so funny, and he's like, oh my god, it's such a funny coincidence. It's not coincidence, it's a funny irony.
Occurrence.
It's a funny irony to me where all these people point to like these secret societies ruling the world when it's like, for the most part, they're not that secret. You can just like call them up. It's
Pretty
basically
much.
they're basically like Scientology at this point, where everybody knows they're a scam, but nobody really cares. I mean, like there are people that care, but
Too much.
they care too much, and that's the problem. And so we were watching these Christian conspiracy theorists for a while, and like I believe you've all seen the bottoms up and the devil laughs bit,
Oh.
where it's
I don't think so.
all right. So it's this woman who's at least in her 50s, who's talking about Monster energy drinks, and how the can spells 666 in Hebrew.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
great. It's one of those things.
And like there's a cross in the O, and like when you turn it upside down, it's the Antichrist. And when
Oh my
and,
god.
and basically her point boils down to was when you drink when you drink the drink, you tip it upside down, and the devil laughs. So it's a bottoms up, and the iconic quote is bottoms up, and the devil laughs.
God.
And yeah, so. My YouTube is filled with horrendous people like that, and so I stumbled across something that's just gross, and it's just sad. Like, it's people like this are not human, in my opinion. So I stumbled across this man called the Donut Operator. He's got 250,000 subs. No, sorry, 2,000. He has 200,000 subs. I read it wrong. 2,500 sorry. 200,000
20 million.
5,551. That's how many subs he has as this moment. And he is a person who basically profits off of Live Leak videos and the whole Blue Lives Matter movement.
Oh, great.
How do I know he profits off this, even though he says that he doesn't profit off this? He has, in his most recent videos, he has him showing off his Corvette, his brand new 2018 Corvette. And he's retired, by the way. He's a retired SWAT officer. What kind of job does a retired SWAT officer have to do to get a brand new Corvette? And how can I do it? Because unless it is he's getting a lot of money from YouTube, which his views would assume, because he gets about 80K on all these videos that he makes. I'm assuming it's going to be because of that. So, and that's a pretty good assumption based upon evidence. It's just like, dude, and the one that I stumbled across the first was Sovereign Citizens Bingo. He's made about 4
Oh,
of these.
that was the guy that you posted in the farmers market.
Yeah. He's made about 4 of these videos, but all of his channel is pretty much just, hey, cops are good. Anybody who doesn't agree with that is bad. Also, here's a bunch of live leak footage of people dying, and me commentating over it. And and a lot of it's like officer dashcam footage where people try to either attack an officer or like just try to resist arrest and get mauled by these police officers most times. And like it's basically borderline police brutality. In some cases it is police brutality. And I don't want to defend any sovereign citizens people, because those sovereign citizens are usually idiots. Like, oh, I don't have to believe in the government just because I say so. Like, you words cannot describe how stupid that position is. And I will give him credit though. He did disassemble his AR-15 after the Florida massacre, and I will give him credit for that. He's not a total idiot. He's just taking a lot of money from these horrible acts. And he's entitled to his own opinion, and we are entitled to our own. But and I'll say this right now: don't go hunting this guy down. Don't go witch hunting him. Don't go to his channel and start spamming him. Please don't do that. I don't, he's a scumbag, but I'm not here to start YouTube drama. I mean, I'll joke about starting YouTube drama with like Tyler One, or that's Twitch drama, but Tyler One, or like PewDiePie, or FaZe Clan, or something like that. That's stupid. I'm not being serious. But this time I'm being serious. Don't go out to this guy's channel and just dump on it. He's trying to make a living, so am I, but at the same time it's just he's making it doing shitty stuff. And it's just such a horrible thing to see, these people that will profit off of horrendous tragedies such as police brutality and senseless death and violence. He has his most recent video, second most recent video 1 day ago was about the bail agent. I don't know if you guys heard about the bail agent that shot somebody in the back.
I have not.
So
I'm not completely sure.
The story goes is that there is this man, and if you watch the video, he's a large man, at least 6'2", and this woman, this bail officer, is not very big. She's maybe 5'7", not very big. Her story is that the man was resisting cooperation, didn't want to be handcuffed, and leaped for her gun. When she got the gun instead of him, he fled out the window, and she shot him in the back because he was trying to flee. Already a fishy story. Already he is not a threat. If somebody is trying to flee from you, they are not a threat. Unless they are in your house and you are afraid that they're going to go attack another family member, like, I don't condone shooting anybody in the back. Not a single person.
Think anybody should be shot in the back.
I don't think anybody should be shot, period, but nobody should be shot in the back. Unless the extenuating circumstances are as such, attacking another person, blah, blah, blah. But the man, and they have video evidence of it, too. They have video evidence from a GoPro that her son, the bail officer's son, set up. And now they're in the meeting, they're hearing, he's cooperative, he's talking to them, but then he's like, I don't want to be led away in handcuffs. Or at least the video cuts to that. He doesn't want to be led away in handcuffs and everything, and she's getting more and more angry and aggressive, and the son is backing up, her son is backing up, and he's just like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Now the man easily could have harmed this woman in many ways. He's a very large man. I'll post a video if you guys want later, but it's very gruesome. It's not gruesome, but they block out.
Unsettling.
It's very unsettling, yes. And you hear the man being shot, which is, I'm used to this stuff because I've been a frequenter of Live Leak for a while now because I'm morbid in my curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't pay off sometimes. Sometimes I see stuff that I don't like, but most of the time it's just like, oh, here's war what war would look like. And you know, I'm a writer by heart. People know that. Marsh knows that. Fezza knows that. Everybody knows that I'm a writer. So I try to look up these war stuff to help with my writing, but at the same time also satisfy my own morbid curiosity. And I hate the fact that it's not a guilty pleasure, but it's more of a
Yeah, we all have those kinds of things.
it's more of a, you know, Leonardo da Vinci cut people open to see what's in the inside of them. I watch video about war and people dying because I want to see what that's like. So I can understand where a lot of people are coming from, as well as put it to my own writing. But basically, back to the story is the man tries to flee out of the window behind the camera's view. And the whole time, he is not going near the desk. The desk is where the gun is. And he was nowhere near the desk. He's refusing to be put in handcuffs. He bolts for the window, gets out of the window. I think you can hear it break, or it's open. And he gets out of the window. I think he trips on the curtain. But the woman has grabbed the gun from the counter, the drawer that it's hidden in, which I'm assuming that the man did not know was there. Otherwise, he may have gone for it. And basically pulls out the gun, cocks it once, and shoots the man in the back. And you hear him scream. And it's just such an unsettling video. And that's the second video on his channel right now. And it's a little bit of the video and mostly his commentary on the video. Now, I will attest to say that I have not watched it in its entirety. I will be completely transparent on that. I have not watched it in its entirety. But I've watched enough to know that that's not something, unless you're a news agency, that's not something you need to touch on.
Yeah.
And even showing the full video, I believe, is too much. On YouTube, at least. But I get demonetized for having a fucking 10-second intro.
Pretty much.
But it's just sad that people profit off this stuff. He also has one where people are jumping from the roof. That's like a fifth video down.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's the video title is The Dreaded Roof Korean, and I believe the video is of a riot happening in Korea, South Korea, where a Korean citizen is armed with a weapon. They are shot by a sniper, and another one jumps off the roof to prevent capture. And they have the full video there. I believe he censors a little bit of it, but not enough.
Yeah.
And it's just sad because this looks like old footage. This looks like footage that he went out of his way to dig up. This isn't something new in the media cycle. And I hope by bringing light to this, we can bring light to more YouTubes like this that are profiteering off of tragedy like that. And maybe YouTube will crack down on that kind of stuff, because this definitely violates their guidelines. 100%. This type of content should not even be on YouTube in the first place.
Another Elsa gate coming up. Hopefully.
But yeah, maybe he'll get his comeuppance, maybe he won't. Who fucking knows? It's a terrible situation, but, you know, don't go out hating on him and say it was from me. If you want to go do your own research and decide to post mean comments in his videos, then just don't tell him I sent you. Because I don't want that linked back to me. I don't want any type of drama with this man. Neither do my beautiful co-hosts here do. And Marsh.
And Marsh.
I don't think.
And Marsh.
But anyways, less depressing stuff aside, let's get into some fanfics, shall we?
Oh goodness, what are we reading?
Well, I was thinking that we could either read something that's fan submitted, but since we haven't had anything submitted to us, remember, if you'd like to submit a fanfic for us to read on stream, you go to the link in the description below. You can find my Discord channel, join the Discord channel, and, you know, post your fanfic in the fanfics tab in the Discord channel. Or if you're on Twitch, it's right underneath the channel page, big bold letters say Discord. Just click on it, join up for Discord, free, totally free, amazing service. I use it for everything.
How about my terrible Kingdom Hearts fanfiction?
And yeah. Oh yeah, we were gonna read your terrible Kingdom Hearts fanfiction, weren't we?
I'm not 100% sure. I was just throwing that out there. just because last time me and my friends did do it, it was horrible.
Well,
Jeez.
you can put it in the fanfic section while I search up something that we might want to read. Do we want to read My Eternal Darkness, which is the prelude to Twilight?
Oh, yes.
We can do a chapter from that, or we can do, because that's a long ass story, or we can do your thing, Fezla. I'll leave it up to you too.
And we can do the what was it called again?
My Eternal Darkness, or something like that.
I think that sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, we could do that. That sounds fun.
Hang on, let me find it. My Immortal, my bad. It's My Immortal.
Ah.
Sounds like an Evanescence song.
Oh, I wish it
Yeah,
was.
it does.
I so
Oh my
wish
gosh,
it was.
actually at the thing when I was at today at the gym where it was supposed to be teaching us about drunk driving.
Mhm.
I vented about this yesterday. But
Go ahead, you can
what
vent
happened
here.
was that like okay, so my school thinks that it's okay to kind of fuck with people's feelings. How
Wait.
mainly what
The school does, or people at the school
the
does?
school
So,
the school itself.
so teachers and faculty.
No. The whole okay. So if I didn't know that this was fake, like I would have believed that my best friend Isabel was dead because
Wait.
what they did.
Yeah, I read
Yeah,
about this.
what they do is that they take away certain students like in the class as well as teachers, and you don't see them for the day. And at first you're kind of like, oh, they're absent, but then they will come in with a police officer and other students reading about how somebody who's not there is dead, how they died in a car accident
What
from
the?
a drunk driving, and they will then walk over, put a flower on where that person sits, and take a picture of how your reaction is, or a video,
What?
and walk out.
Okay, so what you so by the way, she vented about this in our Discord, and I completely misinterpreted it when you vented about it the other night. I thought you meant that people came in to prank you, but
No,
what
this was
what it seems
this
like
was
is that's gonna be one of those simulation fuckos that are
Mhm.
like, hey, drunk driving is bad, let's traumatize the children to do so.
And
He's
so-
not even drive the point home. It just makes people upset.
It makes people paranoid and it makes people upset, yeah, like you said.
So it was lucky that I knew that Isabel was alive for starters, because I knew, like, mainly I only knew because people told me in first period, like, oh, there's gonna be this 15-minute thing, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I thought it was just gonna be a simple, like, oh, I guess they're gone, like, kind of thing, like that we were like nothing else would happen,
Yeah.
because I was like new to this whole thing. But when I saw it, I really just wanted to punch somebody, and like, because at first I almost believed it, forgetting about the whole thing, because I was already emotional that day because I was crying over puppies, but that's another story. And so when I got to my third period, while we were I was working. Me and my friends stayed instead of going to the stadium to for the whole 15-minute thing, because juniors and seniors were supposed to go, but I was like, no, I have to work on my artwork. So
Yeah, priorities.
I was able to see them coming into my class and doing that for Isabel, and the two girls next to me just were wide-eyed and they froze, and we all ran up to look over at the picture they left over for Isabel.
Did
right after they
did they even get consent for this? Did Isabel even say anything about the school to this?
Yeah, Isabel agreed.
I mean, that's Izzy, but
And so what happened was
that's
that
an Izzy move, but it's still fucked up.
so we all ran over to look at the picture, and luckily a student as well as my teacher told us like, oh, Isabel's okay, don't worry. And the thing is that they also at the what I missed at the stadium is that they basically had um 15 police cars and something amount of ambulances bring in the students over to as well as a helicopter and a fire truck to the stadium in which then
What the fuck?
they did a whole scripted scene of somebody getting into a car accident, as well as them reacting to somebody die, two people who died, and
Jesus.
a couple survivors.
They got all the money for this, but they can't fund the art programs? What the fuck?
And then they also, one of the student who was the alleged driver, he had to do all of this stuff like real shit. Like he had to do the walking, he had to get like the breathalyzer. They took him to jail. They actually kept him in there for the whole time, like this whole time, as well as got his fingerprints done, got his picture, took him to trial.
Jesus!
They got the student who died into the helicopter, took her to a hospital, and they did like this whole little film skit thing of doctors going around her, and then they got her mother and telling like their mom like, oh yeah, your kid's dead, here's her body.
Holy fuck, dude.
Wait, hold on. Sorry to interrupt you for a moment, but wait a minute. So they literally got all these ambulances and all these cars and trucks and stuff to come out to do this one thing?
Uh-huh.
So who's actually going to need those ambulances and police cars? So it's a bunch of people just playing pretend just to prove a stupid point that's not even being proven correctly, and they're not even helping people that actually might need their help.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
if that was me, I would go commit crimes there, and I'd be like, fuck this shit. Give me the gun. I'm gonna fucking rob a store or something. I'm gonna get some H.H. Greg. Give me that shit. Gimme. Mine now.
How I found out about the thing is also that all of these the people who are like, oh, matter of fact, almost forgot before I jump into the other thing. There was actually a teacher who was chosen into this where she was one of the like dead, and so the most fucked up thing that they did that day was they called that teacher's mother, and they told this elderly woman that her daughter was dead. A police officer did, and this woman was crying and had to call her daughter and say, luckily her daughter still had her phone, so she was like, no, I'm not dead. As far as I can tell, I'm not dead.
Holy shit.
And
you need to get in contact with the fucking news. You need to start talking. Jeez.
There were other students who didn't know that this was real as well, like Dan, remember Daniel? Danny?
Yeah, contact CNN.
He didn't know that this was fake, and so he actually was having a panic attack over thinking that Izzy was dead. And luckily somebody told him. And so today we had an assembly where they showed us the whole videos, what they took and everything about this whole thing. And luckily I saw Izzy when I saw her there, and I was like, "Oh, is that my best friend?" Is what I yelled.
Jesus Christ, dude.
After
this just
that,
sounds like a nightmare.
Dios mío. You know what they fucking, not to disrail you for a moment, but you know what they did for drunk driving awareness in my school? They made us walk a line. They made us do the breath. They made us do the drunk test.
Did they put those goggles on you too?
Yeah, they had the drunk goggles, and they made us walk a line, and they had a breathalyzer guy there, and they were like, you have to do this, this, and this, and they had like one guy was set up with a polygraph, and that was it. And I took the polygraph test, and I lied that whole bitch, and I was like, they were like, are you sure you're telling the truth? And I'm like, yeah, I'm telling the truth, and I got away scot-free. Nothing. They ain't got nothing on me. I fooled that polygraph.
Oh, great.
Although they have, although it's come out in recent years that polygraph tests have been confirmed to be inconclusive for way longer. Like they only have like an accuracy of like I believe 65%, which is super
Oh.
low for something that should be called the truth detector. But anyways, going back to what you're saying, in this horrible nightmare dystopian fueled society that you are living in California, where you don't have water but you have enough money to do this bullshit.
Yeah. So
Your state's on
today,
fire, but you doing this.
we had one whole day, like one whole second period where we had to sit in a fucking gym as as the dead came in, as they even had the kid who was allegedly the one who like was drunk driving, like the fake scripted one. They had him in a fucking in a jail uniform with like his ankles with like shackles, as well as like two officers next to him as he's like handcuffed.
God damn, I'm surprised they didn't tase him too.
Oh no, it was a white kid, so like
Oh, okay,
of course.
of course.
So the thing was that I was like, this would be only realistic if the at the trial scene if they actually let him scot free. That's how you know it's fucking realistic. Like I whispered this to my friend and she almost fucking choked.
Then it'd be realistic.
Like,
when the
I
justice
was like,
system fails us, then it's real.
I was like, man, they should have chose somebody else for this. And she's like, oh, why? Because it's a white kid. Normally they get scot free in this shit. Anyways, so while I was making fun of it here and there at certain moments, they did have certain talks with us about this. And then the one part where I was joking a bunch was then at this point. An ex-officer like grabbed the mic and he was just like, "Oh well, do you want to know how you should stop somebody from like driving if they're drunk?" Okay, ladies, ladies, go to your boyfriend, and I fucking like that was when I laughed. I was like, and they're like, go to your boyfriend. I know this isn't gonna help. Bob, do this. Blah 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 blah. Like acting like the typical like trying to say that like girls are annoying kind of voice.
Heterosexual.
Yeah, and then he was like, just flirt with him, and then he'll give you the keys.
What?
And I was just like rolling my eyes. And then he was like, just remember, girls, you're smarter than guys because guys are stupid. And I was like,
that old school sexism.
And then he was like, because, all you have to do is grab both the guy's hands and tell him that he has to do what you say because you're smarter than him. And I was just rolling my eyes so much because, like, for how much he talked about that one section, all I kept hearing was like, oh, because you girls have to get married and have husbands, and just like, if he ever argues with you.
Even though that they're smarter than me, you still have to obey what he says, because...
And then he was like, at one point, he was like, when the guy's drunk, he's most likely going to tell you to make them a sandwich, and that's when I fucking, like, choked,
Jeez, is this person like living in like the 1940s? What's going on?
Me Dumbo, me no. Girl, she know, she smell nice. Therefore, me protect big girl with big muscle. She no.
Yeah, he actually said us guys are just are big, tough, manly guys who are supposed to be stupid, because we're the strong, manly ones.
I would love to take that guy and just bring Stephen Hawking back to life and just have a conversation I just like to moderate a conversation between Stephen Hawking and that fucko. Just to see how wrong he is, because not only was Stephen Hawking the smartest man in the world, but he was also muscularly impaired with ALS. So, like, he's wrong on both occasions there. Not only do men have to be the big muscly boys, but they're also capable of intelligence equal to women. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, what's this?
What's this? Casual feminism? Yeah.
I was like rubbing my eyes the entire time, and I was like, I want to fucking die right now. I really want to fucking die. I was like, damn, I wish I was one of those dead people right down there. Why, Izzy, why'd you have to take my spot of being fucking dead? And so, afterwards, luckily I got to talk to when I saw Izzy, the funny thing was that everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're alive!" And I was like, "No, you guys, we're just the ghost whisperer.
This is the
She's
sixth
still
sense.
dead."
This is the sixth sense. You're all ghosts too, because that's how that movie went. I see dead
Yeah.
people. I see dead people.
And so I got to talk to Isabel, and then it was I was just, it was good that I talked to her because I actually ended up crying because I was just like, I miss you, and she was like, I had to go to a church, and I was like, holy shit, which church? She was like, I don't know, it was like some Baptist church, but they fed me good, and I was like, oh, like I kept asking what kind of food, but she never answered me, but she said that they fed her pretty well, and
If
like
it's a
I
Baptist
kind of
church, if it's a Baptist
yes.
church, I would assume that they fed her like barbecue or something. Because every time that I go to a Baptist church, it's like they have barbecue. I don't know what
They
it is
fed her
about them,
Christian food.
but barbecue apparently is Jesus's bounty or some shit.
What do you? I would think that like that would be bread.
Yeah,
Don't
like
think I don't think barbecues were invented until way before Jesus, way after Jesus' time.
I don't know, but every time I'm forced to go to a church function for my brother's Boy Scout shit, I'm just like, I'm here for the food. Because, believe it or not, the Scoutmaster for my brother actually makes really decent barbecue, and I like it.
Wow.
Yeah, he also makes really good burgers, so. Like,
Nice.
But yeah, that's the
uh,
end of that rant of I'm still very unhappy that that's how they touch up on drunk driving, since I know half of these motherfuckers in
yeah,
my school are still gonna fucking
that seems kinda like emotional manipulation. You might want to get
yeah.
in contact with the local news.
Yeah, so it's like
If the news weren't there,
excuse
you
me.
might want to contact the news and give them that story. Because that is in fucking sane. Not only is it insane, but it is emotionally manipulative and just
I
downright a waste of public funds. If
And
if
I
time
if
that could
nothing
be used to help people.
if nothing else, it is a waste of public funds and servicemen.
I know, like, I tried to tell Isabel that I was very pissed off during that whole thing. It was just like, well, it's kind of supposed to tell you, like, to get aware of it, like, better. And I was just like, you know, like in the back of my head, I was just like, it just kind of really makes me feel like somebody's one of these days, somebody's really, really never gonna know that it's that they're gonna have the biggest off day. Like this person's gonna have the biggest off day, and then this will be the cherry on top to make that person snap. Is what I think one of these days will happen.
What I'm thinking
Cause
is that like if somebody actually does die of drunk driving, everybody's gonna think it's a fucking joke again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like you idiots! Have you not read The Boy Who Cried Wolf? It's fucking 2 pages long, bitch. I can read it in 2 seconds. Ready? Hey, he cried wolf over and over, and guess what? Nobody fucking believed him when he was actually eaten by a wolf. Therefore, you're fucking stupid. Don't do this again, you fucking cockmongers. Like, holy shit.
as well as another thing is that if a student did die in our school, the only thing is that no one's gonna know. Like they don't tell us this shit. They don't do shit for us. They're not gonna take the time to actually give a shit about us. We only find out because of gossip, or then you see little Jimmy down the hall crying in the hallway because his best friend, Marco, fucking died in a car accident.
Not Marco.
You only find out by there. you only find out because of that. You don't find out like until a long while afterwards. You're like, oh, what's going on? Why isn't the auditorium open? Oh well, they're putting a funeral on for this one person.
What
Who the
the
fuck was that?
You have
What
funerals
happened?
in your auditorium? What the fuck?
We had a
What the
funeral.
fuck is your school system?
We had a funeral not too long ago.
What the fuck is your school system? That is not normal.
There was a kid who was caught in where it was like somebody shot him. Like there was a like there was a shooting somewhere.
What the fuck is going on?
He was caught in the shooting, and it was like unfortunate. And so
Of course it was unfortunate.
I believe that is the least of your problems.
And so we had to have a funeral for him one night, like for the family and stuff. And so
Marsh, do you live in North Korea? Where the fuck? Do you live in California? What part of California? You live in the middle of Gangtown, California? What the fuck is this?
I mean, I'm just used to, like, I don't know, like, I'm not, okay, like, I can't say I'm used to, like, guns, but at the same time, like, at night, it's just kind of to a point that we gotten used to the fact where it's like, is that fireworks or is that guns? Well, I mean, it's not even July, so I think it's probably guns. Whatever, I'm tired, and, like, I'll just turn to my side.
Yeah, we have the same problem in our neighborhood, except is that a car backfiring because there's so many old fucks in my neighborhood, or is that a gun?
Oh no, we just know that it's kind of like a gun nowadays. We're just like, whatever. As long as it's not nearby me, I don't give a shit. And so
you live in like the south side of Chicago. You live in fucking Syria. What the fuck is going on?
And then there was once in my life, the only time I was very scared was when I saw my sister try to jump somebody. And then the thing was that it backfired. So we had like a couple kids in our car. And like we were driving them to the hospital. And that was when I was paranoid because I thought this one person was gonna attack us with a cane, and I was like, "Shit, man!"
You get cane trying to get away.
Marsh, if you died by a cane attack, I would have told your parents. I would have told your parent. I would have told your mother something more dignified. Like you died from a. I'd have been like, she died from erotic asphyxiation. Something more justified.
Let me explain, motherfucker.
We need to do fucking fanfics. We're running out of time.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to. No fanfic Friday. We get rants.
We get. I mean, I'm pretty sure Marsh just lived through a fucking fanfic.
I could have explained about the whole cane story, but you don't want to hear it. Whatever.
I'm just right now. There's not a lot you could say that could top the fact that people thought people died at your school, but it turned out to be a joke sanctioned by
It's just a prank, bro.
They did that fucking YouTube prank on you. Are you aware of that? They YouTube pranked you. They Logan Paul'd you.
I mean, like, all I gotta say is, I was just really tired and hungry, and I love dogs, that I cried that day for dogs instead of Isabel.
Understandable, but at the same time, your school, Logan Paul'd you. Your school, Logan Paul'd you. I hope you are aware of the fact that if that was on YouTube, it would have made millions. What the fuck? I'm getting whiplash from this, dude, and I'm not even moving. I'm sitting in my chair.
The story is on your podcast.
Yeah, I think it also needs to be on fucking Saturday Night Live or some fucking news channel, cause that shit ain't normal.
Oh no, no, Grant, when you're really famous or something, and we go like to like something, I want it that somebody will ask about this day again, and like it's
I want you to fucking call the goddamn local people, because this story needs to go out now, because this is not a normal situation.
It doesn't sound like it. And who?
No, I heard that this has been happening for quite a while. That they've been doing
What
this
the
for.
fuck?
Yeah, they've been doing this for a couple times now. As far as I heard.
Wait, like just in California, or
like no, for our school.
Just for your school.
Because I didn't have this at my at the schools I went to at Tracy, as far as I know.
Hey,
all they would do is you would have two people come into like come into a presentation, show like some video, and just be like, this is why you shouldn't drink and drive, kids.
Yeah,
it should be.
Yeah.
Who wants a free T-shirt?
Yeah, that's pretty much what they did at my school.
And then I come over here to Isabel's school, and I'm like getting my ass traumatized and paranoid, thinking that Isabel's dead. And I'm like, ah!
Hey kids, who wants some trauma?
Ooh, I want some.
Well,
Sounds
that's,
nice.
do.
Goes well with my PTSD.
that's too bad because all you're gonna get is some fucking whiplash.
Wait a minute. That also brings up another question. So, like, what if some kid does have PTSD and something like
Yeah.
this
What if some
Yeah,
kid is
happens
fucking?
again?
What if some
That's
kid?
what I said.
What if some kid? Marsh, put it this way: What if some kid? What if some kid's like best friend is their only lifeline to not being like fucking dead, to being not suicidal or some shit?
Mhm.
What if the next day they're like, yeah, your best friend is dead, and they just fucking kill themselves? What the fuck does
Also,
the school do then?
The thing is, they confiscate the people who are dead's phone. They
No.
confiscate their phones.
That's it.
So if they try
I'm
and-
getting CNN on the phone. Oh my god.
That is a violation of human rights.
This
If you
is.
try and
I'm
call-
getting
if you
PETA.
try and call-
I'm getting
if you call
fucking
your friend-
ACLU.
So,
I'm getting fucking.
I was trying to call and text Isabel.
I'm getting
and
a Coast
right
Guard.
away, it would go immediately goes to voicemail. She would not read any of my messages, and I found out during those 2 whole days they took away her phone, so I had no way of contacting her. So I was even more paranoid.
I'm calling the goddamn Coast Guard of another country.
That sounds like something that should be illegal.
This
'cause
sounds
that's like,
extremely illegal.
it does.
This sounds like a violation of the Fifth Amendment on civil forfeiture.
Shoot, I gotta read those again.
Oh, you don't know your amendments? What are
No,
you?
I do, but I kept
What are
forgetting them
you?
because
What
it
are
takes
you?
forever to remember.
An American?
Once,
That's right. Get out of my country, you commie
One thing-
fuck.
One thing was that my art teacher, she was like, I know that we did this for like a couple years, but like I think kind of now it's like I think it's kind of getting out of hand now.
Yeah, it's a little out of hand. It's a little out of hand when people think that their best friends are fucking dead. You know, I'll tell a story of there was a kid who I didn't know that died by drunk driving at my school when I was a junior, and guess what? People literally would not park in his spot for the rest of time. His spot has been warded off and made a memorial at that Osborne Park High School, which I went to. Like, you can look at it from the road that's on. Now, the road's fucking shit. Don't go down to Liberia unless you want to fucking be there for fucking 7 years. But, you know, it was like, when that kid died, they had so much respect for them. There was a moment of silence, like, during the middle of the day, during the time that he died, getting to school and shit, because he was late. But, like, it's just like, what the fuck is going on in your school? You live in a dystopian. You live in literally Fahrenheit 451 or something shit like that. They're coming in, they're taking your shit and telling them you're dead. What the fuck?
So my so basically I didn't know that I couldn't contact Isabel at all because every time I tried and called her it would go straight to voicemail, and I was like and then the thing is they also Isabel couldn't be at her house during that time because so I guess like if you try and drive to your friend's house to see if they're okay, they are not there. They are at the church.
This is not legal. This is not. I'm convinced 100% that you need to get in contact, or if you don't, I will get in contact with some type of media form, because this.
Some way you're gonna send an email to like all the news reporters.
I have a recording. I have this on recording.
They're gonna knock on my door and just be like, "Is this true?" And I'm just like,
Marsh, I'm serious. Please go to a news organization, because this is not normal.
I have anxiety. I have social anxiety. You're saying this to somebody who can't even order pizza on the phone.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. We all are fucking broken.
Same
shit.
here.
But
We're all mentally broken.
Guess what? Not normal shit like this seems to trump my social anxiety. I will get on the fucking phone with CBS tonight.
Do it then. Go ahead. I don't mind.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So yeah, that was my two yesterday and today. And the worst part about it was the day before Thursday, I had a lot of issues at the time, so I was not mentally okay. And so Thursday was a cherry on top, and then today I I was sobbing into Isabel's arms.
Oh.
So
Fucking God, dude. I feel like I just went on a roller coaster and I was sitting in my chair. I was researching stuff for fucking My Immortal. I was looking there, was like, oh, I'm gonna read this
Doesn't look like we're
nice,
gonna get to it tonight.
and then you just come out of nowhere with this fucking story and just bash my goddamn hell. Like, fucking hell, dude.
so yeah. Yeah, do you see why I was angry Thursday?
Yeah, I see why you're angry. I don't understand why you're not going to the fucking higher authorities on this matter, going public with this fucking story.
Maybe you should
I'm
tell
just
your
scared
parents
that
and hopefully.
I'm scared that those policemen who were a part of this are going to find my house and like
I
attack
said-
me. I'm not white. I'm not white. They'll fucking murder me. And they'll attack me. Like I could. Okay, they're gonna knock on my door and they're just gonna be like, what did you say? And I'll just be like, oh wait, let me grab a tissue. And like, what? The moment I reach for the tissue, they're gonna be like, she's reaching for a weapon and beat the shit out of me. I'm a Hispanic woman. I am Hispanic. I will die.
That's why I said go to a news agency. Go to a judge. Feza is dying. Oh my god. A cop's gonna show up at my door and tell me Feza's dead now too.
Make sure you put both your hands up too, Grant. But make sure that they know you're fully unarmed.
Oh man, I don't even think that's gonna work.
Yeah, that's not gonna work either. They're gonna use a gun up his ass or something.
The first time I got pulled, the first and only time I've ever gotten pulled over, I threw my hands out the window. I had my hands out the window the whole time. The cop was running my badge because I had a huge ass knife in my fucking glove compartment.
Oh my god.
I have a Bowie knife that I keep in my car, which is legal in the state of Virginia. But at the same time, like, hey, what the? I want to pass it over to questions, but all the questions are gonna be like, hey, Marsh, what the fuck?
Okay, come on. Let's just do questions. I'm actually curious.
Oh my
I question
god.
what the heck is going on with your school and how can I sue?
Yeah, me too. I'm not even part of this, but I'm not fucking.
God, if I had the money, that definitely sounds super.
This sounds 100% illegal. Like, if you told me, like, an officer comes in and is like, oh yeah, Isabel has unfortunately passed away, and, like, the officer left, it was only, like, one-time deal to, like, prove to your class that, like, yes, drunk driving can happen to anybody, and the officer comes back in with, like, Isabel and is like, hey, yeah, she's not dead, this was just, to prove a point. Like, yeah, that's a little shitty, but at the same time, that gets the point across. I didn't know they fucking filmed kids that were acting like they were dead, that they called people's parents.
Social experiment.
They Logan Paul'd you. I keep saying it, but they Logan Paul'd you.
Some of the it was only the students' parents they knew. The students' parents they knew. It was just that one teacher's mother. She did not know. That was the only case.
Yeah,
where
that's
I was like,
still
damn.
fucking
Still
horrible.
bad.
Still bad.
Still someone's
Especially
child.
because it was like an elderly woman, and I could
Yeah.
just picture that this woman could have had
Even worse.
literal heart attack.
This woman could have been like, well, my husband's dead, my children's dead now, nothing worth living. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I cannot stress this enough that this is not fake. Like, this is the first time that I'm hearing about it in this context. Because, like, last night, not last night, but the other night when you were telling me about it, I thought there was, like, a resource officer that came in. Like one of those fucking fat-ass cops that come in that don't do shit and run away when the school getting shot. But, like, they come in and they're just like, hey, yeah, Isabel's dead. Nope, just kidding, Isabel's alive. Fooled you. Don't drink and drive, kids. Like, that's shitty, but that's not this fucking shitty.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit, dude.
Yeah. So that was my day Thursday and today.
Wild.
Wow. I don't
all
think...
I could say is that even though I would never drink, I really wanted to drink that moment.
My God.
It's driving you to drink.
Yeah. Congratulations, school. You did the
You
one
did the
thing.
complete
You did the
opposite.
one thing. You gave your children social anxiety, and the drive to be alcoholics.
I literally at that moment I'm like, I literally just wanted to just, even though I legally can't, I wanted to pay somebody to get me a fucking beer and just drink that whole time away. That's how distressed I was. I was just like, I never would. Okay, days before, I always say that I would never drink. I'm okay with friends drinking, but I would never drink myself. But now I'm just like, that looks really tempting right now. That looks really tempting just to fucking chug down a whole goddamn beer.
Mm. Well, anyways,
The
that's
podcast.
been that. I've been and am the boss. Who are you people?
I'm Marsh. I'm gonna turn 18 this Sunday.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday. You get traumatized as
Your
a present.
your friend is dead. Actually, just kidding.
I'm waiting till I turn 21 so I could legally drink this time away. It's gonna take too long, but it's okay.
Jesus. Fezza, who are
Fezza,
you?
say yours.
I'm the ferret.
Oh, we'll be back on Monday, 7:30
Hopefully with something.
7:30 p.m. Hopefully we're not all dead. JK, we're not dead.
What are you gonna name this?
I don't know what I'm gonna name this podcast, but
Troubling times.
it's over. Bye, guys. We're back. I already said the deal. Never mind. Goodbye.